Tonight, our Verify team is looking into whether Vice President Kamala Harris would still be allowed to certify the presidential election if she is a candidate.
Here's Jalissa Garza with more.
Many of us weren't familiar with the process to certify a presidential election before what happened on January 6, 2021. Historically, it's been an important but non-headline grabbing event. The vice president in their role as president of the Senate overseeing the count and results from the Electoral College. KHOU viewer Sheila asks, can a vice president certify the results of an election in which they are also a candidate? We turn to our sources, the U.S. Constitution, U.S. Code, and the University of Houston. The 12th Amendment and U.S. Code Title III, Section 15 detail the requirement that the president of the Senate, who also happens to be the vice president, oversees the count of electoral votes. As for the VP also being a candidate running for president in the same election, UH professor Emily Berman says this is nothing new.
It's quite common through U.S. history to have this happen. So more often than not, the vice president presiding over their losing election. So Al Gore, for example, in 2001, Richard Nixon in 1961.
The whole number of electors appointed to vote for president of the United States is 537.
But there have been times where the vice president has presided over their own victory.
George Bush of the state of Texas.
George Herbert Walker Bush, the first President Bush, was the vice president during that election, and he presided over his own electoral count victory.
So it is true, a vice president can certify the results of an election in which they are also a candidate. As for how much power the vice president has in the process, Professor Berman says after January 6, Congress made it even more clear that the role is simply ministerial.
All the vice president does is open the envelopes, take the paper out that the states send in, hand it to someone else, and then that someone else reads them aloud.
With your Verify, I'm Jalissa Garza.
Always easy to reach out to us with your Verify questions. Email us at verify@khou.com.